Hey guys, Zakk here from MixChecks.com. Welcome back to this free gospel mixing course. We have finally reached the end, and in this video I will show you how to finish off the song and master it. So this is going to be my master bus processing, and I'm not really a mastering engineer, but sometimes due to client budgets, they might ask you to master it or give them a mastered version. And so this is how I go about mastering. But ideally, you're going to want to send this to a mastering engineer because the benefit of mastering is having a second set of ears on your mix. So take what you want, leave what you want, but in this video, I'm just going to show you what I do. So let's jump in. Master this gospel track. So we're going to pull up our master bus, and I just have my own saved channel preset that I pretty much use all the time. Just tweak the different settings. So I have this Zakk's mastering. And if I was mastering someone else's track, I would probably start with a linear phase EQ because there might be things I have to adjust EQ-wise to properly balance it. But since I'm mastering my own track, which isn't really mastering, I mean, part of the mastering process is getting a second set of ears on your mix. So this is kind of like faux mastering. So I'm just doing loudness maximization basically. And since I mixed it, I already know, the EQ is kind of where I want it to be because I've been referencing as I mix. So I'm just adding this Puig Tech plugin. It's mostly just for character and to add sizzle. It's not to correct anything because if I have to correct something, I'll just go correct it in the mix, not here on the master. So this is what I normally start with. Let's find a section that's worth listening to right here. He showed when it died for me. He showed when he went to Calvary. So what this one is going to do is basically a kind of happy face EQ to just add that much more to the master bus. So you have these two, boost and attenuate on the highs and boost and attenuate on the lows. And so I'm just going to boost the lows, boost the highs. I usually go to about 3, and that's where it likes to sit, but we'll see what it sounds like on this mix. You went to Calvary. So I've been bypassing it and unbypassing it, but you can hear it kind of just opens it up a little bit. Just listen to the high end, like listen to the vocal, and you can hear it, just add that sizzle to it. Okay, I'm about to open it up right here. Okay, next thing in my mastering chain is just a normal compressor, slow attack, fast release. The ratio is only 1.5. I'm not doing anything drastic on my master bus. And I'm only gonna set this one to take off like half of a dB. So it's just really gentle, and it just kind of helps the plugins that are coming after this to just continue to smooth this track out. So I'm just going to adjust the threshold to just take off that, about a half dB. Okay, just very gentle, barely audible compression. Next up is the Shadow Hills mastering compressor. And so on this one, it's a serial compression unit, or at least that's how I have it set up. So it goes into an opto compressor, then it goes into a discrete compressor, and that's pretty much it. So for this one, you have these 3 settings. I like this, the middle one, the iron. I've just, I've tested them out on multiple mixes, and I've always liked this setting. So that's the one I keep it on. And then I'm just going to do about another half dB on the opto, another half dB on the discrete, and it just further smooths out my mix. And then one more thing on this one, it has a stereo width knob, and I'll usually crank it up. I never go past 120% because you're just going to introduce a bunch of phase issues and whatnot, but I do like it, just for a little bit of flavor. So somewhere in between 110, 120%. Okay, so yeah, you can just barely hear that stereo width and compression. Next thing I run it into is a multi-band compressor. This is probably going to be, up for debate with most mastering engineers, because I know most legit mastering engineers will only use this if they actually need it. For me, I just like to put it on every mix. It smooths it out a lot, and to me, it helps with the limiter that's coming next. It just kind of helps the limiter add loudness without adding a bunch of distortion and stuff. So I use it on everyone, but just know that most legit mastering engineers will tell you not to use this on every single mix. So I use this top band as kind of a track de-esser, which mastering engineers do use if the track is harsh in the high end. So I use this to tame the high end so it doesn't hurt anyone's ears. And then I just use the rest of the bands to tame each of those respective areas. I kind of widened up the band, and I have my own settings for where these bands are. And you feel free to copy them if you want, but it's just like a big low mid section, big section where the vocals sit, and then, all your subs and low end information too. And then one more thing I use this for is if after I go check this in the car and check it on other systems, if I notice I need more EQ adjustments, I'll actually just come in here and adjust the boost or the gain on these bands. So I use this kind of as my linear phase EQ after car checking it, basically. So if I go take it to the car and I'm like, man, this mix isn't bright enough, then I'll come here and I'll boost these highs. Or if the lows aren't enough, I'll come boost the lows, whatever it may be. Or if there's too much lows, I might just compress the lows harder. All right, so now we're just moving into the limiting. I like to use the Logic adaptive limiter. Some people like it, some people don't. I've used it on pretty much every mix for the last 10 years. I don't know. It's worked for me. So I will keep using it until I find something better. But I just have this set. I also use Logic's loudness meter so I can check the LUFS. And then for the adaptive limiter, I'm going to drop it down to -0.3. I'm also going to turn on true peak detection for inner sample peaks. But I've never really had an issue with inner sample peaks. I think on a lot of commercially released music that's crazy loud, they have a bunch of them, yet they still release it that way. But that's my settings for that. And then I already have this preset gain boost, but sometimes I'll have to drop that if I need to. Usually I just use this gain plugin to gain more, to get more loudness. And my usual target is like -9, -8 LUFS. The jury's still out. Spotify and Apple Music will tell you -14, -12, -16. YouTube, Spotify, they all have their different settings. I'm just going to keep making it to the loudness I like or to the sound I like. I'll crank the limiter, and get that limited sound that I'm still going for and a lot of my clients still go for. So that's what I'm doing until I read something that makes me think I need to change. But as of right now and everything that I've read, I'm not worried about it. I'm just going to crank that gain knob until I like the sound. But I am going to turn this down so I don't blow y'all's ears out. Okay, so now we kind of got it mastered and where we're wanting it to be. And the last plugin on here is my AB plugin. This is from Adapter, Metric AB, Plugin Alliance, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm just going to load in an audio file. And of course I can't, actually play this on YouTube. So I think what I did last mixing course was replace the audio with just some random royalty-free audio. I'll probably do the same on this. And I just like to A/B it back and forth between commercially released music just to make sure I'm in the right ballpark before I ever take it to the car or any other speakers. So let's do some A/Bing. All right, that's actually pretty close. I'm not going to make any adjustments. I'm going to go check it in the car, and then if it's good in the car, you will not see me again for this mixing course. If it is not, then you might see me making some adjustments or talking about adjustments I made when I'm in the car. So I will see you guys next video, whether that's the next video in this mixing course or the next video in the next mixing course. So see you then. Peace.